Hey guys, doing a quick guide for Xenon, Cursed Demon Sword. 3-star advent for this week, along with Julie. Um, he is a fire element. You definitely want to take at least one water attacker, mostly because the second boss, or the second wave, he takes a lot less damage from every other element other than water. I mean, water heroes also deal more damage, take less damage, so it's a good idea to have a few if you can. Let's go look at the party info real quick. So, none of the three here are particularly useful to really enhance really far in the long term, but if you have the resources, one of the mechanics are annoying you, you could definitely at least put one of them in your team. 100% attack for all team members. You could just stick that in if you don't have a good fifth person. Even if she's not leveled, they still will double your attack. Blind immunity. Blind is not too bad if you have someone like Rue, someone else that can cleanse debuffs, maybe a Deimos to make sure your main attacker can't be blinded. And then the poison immunity can be helpful if your units aren't tanky enough, because he does the same poison as Renta happens in this dungeon, where you whenever you heal your guys, they get hurt, which is kind of a pain. But none of these guys are necessary. I'm going to be doing a clear without them. Let's take a look at the team going in. So I've got a team of all mostly 6-star bases. I could take my Morgan. She bursts Xenon pretty hard, but for this video I didn't want to take my Morgan since she's pretty much in all my other videos. Most of these guys are 60 with just runes or set bonuses, but they don't really have anything else. They're not enhanced. I haven't checked their runes in a long time. He's got a couple, but some of these stats aren't exactly the most desirable. I don't know why I have an attack set of runes for a Deimos. Probably when I first started the game, I threw those on there. Only Tayo has runes. Tayo, Esna, they're both very good for this dungeon. I run my Tayo with I'm trying him out with a multi-strike counter attack set. You should see how it kind of works in the video. I run this on him mostly because this guy right here, it's this one right here. It inflicts 50% additional damage on counter attack or multi-strike, and then if those crit with the Hot-Blooded Instinct, it does a lot of damage. And I know a lot of you guys have Tayo from the last advent. Some of you guys didn't get him, but he can definitely be a water attacker from here. Esna as well. There is looming death in this dungeon, so Rue is pretty helpful. Light DPS is also really helpful, mostly because the guys that take away Berserk are Dark Element. But we'll go through the mechanics when we get in the fight. So let's get in here. So this first set of ads, you'll see two dark guys on either ends. Those guys will take away the Enrage, the Berserk, and then in the middle there's a Fire, Water, and Wind guy. So, oops, I have it on auto. As you can see, whenever anyone gets attacked, they go Berserk. When they go Berserk, they attack quicker, and their attack is increased. It can be a pretty nasty debuff. My guys are typically tanky enough that I can take a few hits without worrying about it, so I'm just going to do some AoE, make sure to hurt this guy at the end. Because if we look at their buff, removes Berserker effect whenever you kill one of these guys, so it's pretty helpful to have. But the main source of damage in this phase is going to definitely be these three guys in the middle. And there goes the counterattack from Tayo, taking a huge chunk of health. And there's a taunt. Helps me quite a bit to reduce damage. There's another counterattack. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and use Damien's AoE. Get that guy pretty low. Tayo is going to take him out, going to remove the Berserk from the guy in the middle. That way I can have a turn without them doing super high damage. Just going to go ahead and heal here. And then we'll DPS the other guys down. This can be a little bit expected in a fire dungeon where you get a bunch of other guys with different elements. And since he got him low, I'll just take this guy out so I don't take... Well, he's stunned, so I actually don't need to worry about it. There we go. You can see some of the counter strikes and multi-strikes, how hard they hit for with Tayo. Alright, so this boss, like I said before, he takes very little damage from any element that's not water. So my other guys aren't really going to be doing all that much damage, as you can see. Rue can still proc her remove debuff, even though she's not actually removing a debuff, so that's nice. Go ahead and just hit him, heal the Tayo, and just keep doing some DPS. When he hits about half, he starts doing a tail swipe AoE, which is that one there, and that procs that poison that I was talking about early in the dungeon. As you can see, they take damage each turn, and if they are healed, they get damaged instead, which is kind of a pain. Just have to watch out for it. Gonna try to burst him down a little bit here. So now all my guys are poisoned. If I hit my 3 with Deimos there, I would have taken a lot of damage, so I'm just going to shield here, just to reduce some damage. There we go, and we get a Tayo counterattack to finish him off. Alright, and here is Xenon. He does a lot of AoE. He gets a Berserker Rage, which does the same thing as the first guy, is increase attack speed and attack damage. But he also gets this right here, Rampaging Demon Sword. He has a pretty high chance to cast Looming Death on your units when he hits you. Looming Death is a pretty nasty debuff. At the start of your turn, it takes half of your current HP, and then after 2 turns it kills you, which is why I have Rue in the party, because Rue will take that away. Now, even though my guys have the debuff, Rue's heal seems to remove the poison debuff before it heals, so I'm safe to use that. But be careful when healing here otherwise. Let's see, I still have a couple poison debuffs, but they're shielded, so I'm gonna go ahead and shield the Deimos here. I'm gonna use Damien to try to get the guy on the side low so I can remove the Berserker Rage. So when Xenon hits about half health, he starts doing AoE attacks, which is a pain. It cleaves multiple guys, so that's why if you see my units, my DPS units are kind of spread out. Tayo might go down here. Just trying to get him low so that I can remove the rage when I'm ready. And you can see when he hits me, I get the recovery decrease debuff. So that was Deimos's level 60 passive, the auto res. Just going to go ahead and defend here. He shouldn't kill that. Oh, unless he crits. Alright, so Xenon's in rage. He's going to start doing a bunch of cleave damage. Just be mindful he has resolve. So when you take him down to 0 health, he'll come back with a couple health. Also, when he drops below that phase, I was in the menu, you can see it. He does a one-time giant AoE attack, which took out my Tayo. Would have killed my Root if she didn't have her resolve. So now I don't have any way to take off Looming Death, and he's perma-enraged. So it's just a DPS race to kill him as fast as I can. And there's the multi-strike to finish. Alright, well, if you guys need any additional tips or tricks to clear this dungeon, let me know. He does hit pretty hard. Some of the debuffs are annoying, but he'll help you out with Renta.